So we've all heard the good old statement with, if you're going to be successful in school, that doesn't necessarily mean you're going to succeed in life. That the school nerds always end up like bottlenecking in corporate jobs, and that usually the not so successful kids in school end up doing great in life. So how true is that? First of all, let's start with my school experience. So I just finished high school. With a fairly good GPA. I think it's GPA. I don't know. So in Romania, maximum is 10, and I finished with 933. So I think it's pretty good. Now, my high school experience is, I think, a lot different for many kids, especially in Romania. So when I entered high school, I was this cocky, arrogant bitch because I had a great grades before that, and I didn't really study for them. And when I entered high school, I had the same philosophy. Like, I can just play video games, I can just fuck around, waste my time. I don't need to study because I'm going to just go to school and have great grades anyway, which did not really work out. I had the first session of exams in school, and I was undergrading, like in the red line. I should put it like in for mathematics and computer science, and I was like, "What the fuck?" Now, this has gone up for 2 years. Like ninth grade and 10th grade, I was borderline passing. I didn't, and I was depressed because my image of this like good kid in school was absolutely shattered. My big head from the good grades I got before that was popped like a balloon, and I had to go. I had to start advancing, in school. And in 11th grade and 12th grade, I done better. As I said, I finished 12th grade with the final exams with great grades. Almost perfect mark at almost perfect mark at mathematics, 9.95 out of 10. So even though in ninth grade I almost failed mathematics, I'm going to probably make a new video about how you can make how can you become from the absolute failure student to top performing student, because it's not that hard. I'm just going to make a video separately about that. But I was thinking, because a very big part of and I think a lot of guys that watch this video have this desire of achieving something great in life, of making a lot of money and being very successful. And a lot of them statistically don't do great in school. So I'm thinking about how powerful is the school system in choosing your in defining your future success. Because it's true, school does not define your success and grades do not define your intelligence, but they show something very important, and I'm going to cover it right now. Most billionaires are very good kids in school. Zuckerberg, Elon Musk, Bill Gates, Pavel Durov, all of these people that have billions of dollars and amassed massive wealth and have left a massive mark on our society have done great in school. And a lot of them have done great in school. And I'm going to cover this. Why people who do great in school don't usually end up in bottlenecked corporate jobs like movies show us, and fairly life. So usually the nerds are in two categories. The people who are inherently intelligent, like they are just intelligent, you can explain them quantum physics and they're going to get it instantly. And then there's the nerds, the people who will do anything in their power in order to get a good grade. And I think that these people have a bit of a disadvantage in life, because the inherently intelligent people know what's going on and they understand the endeavors they go in. And that's why these people like Elon Musk, and who are somewhat street smart, get the top. But they also perform great in school because they're not lazy. So if I could say one thing about the education system, and if you don't do great in the education system and you say in your mind while you're playing video games or you're wasting your time, I don't need to do great in school because most successful people don't do great in school. Yes, they don't, but the very important fact, they don't waste their time. They value their time and they work hard. So if you justify your laziness in school and your laziness in general and not doing anything with school will anyway not make me successful, that's not the winning mindset. Saying that, look, I'm not going to study for school, I'm not going to do anything in my youth because anyway I don't get any kind of success points from school. Yes, but you get a little bit of a discipline of doing the work, of aiming for something and achieving it. That's what you should look for school in school for. Making intelligent friends, making friends who share your values of growing, of being stronger, of being honorable man. Training yourself in aiming for something, aiming for a grade, or aiming for maybe being able to solve a certain problem in mathematics or something, I don't know, and achieving it. And these are the two most important facts in school if you want to take the business endeavor or stuff like that. You don't need the best grades, you don't need to be the most popular kid, you just need to make a group of friends who are your brothers in arms, and to make a group of and to create this mindset of setting a goal and achieving it and learning about it in order to achieve it. So this, hear about it, learn about it, do it until you succeed. Why some intelligent people bomb? Their biggest problem is the fear of failure. They haven't failed in their lives. They haven't felt the, because most of you people who watch this have failed at something in your life. You've been like big into sports, you've played for your team and you've messed up, and you feel the weight of the failure on your shoulder. Even though it's not true, you feel like everyone around you, like if you're in a stadium or like everyone around you is like frowning upon you and you're like you don't even want to look at them. That's how it's a horrible feeling, but it's a feeling we all have to feel in life. The feeling of failure is the most profound feeling, in my opinion, that humans can feel. Of failing people who gave you your trust in your expertise and you failed. And there's no one else to blame but you. And the nerds don't have that. And when they try something and they utterly fail, because there is impossible that you try something for the first time, even with the most calculated and most well-prepared plan, that you are going to not fail the first time. So when they fail, they just completely disassemble, because they don't know how it is to fail at smaller things, because they're trying to lift 500 kilograms off the ground in deadlift, before trying to lift 100. So us who were the dumber kids, we failed at exams, we failed at sports endeavors, we failed at anything because we have started failing from a young age with not so important thing like a test or a bigger exam or something, with not so important things. And we got used to the feeling of failing. But these nerds, who since they were born until, I don't know, age 20, 25, when they start to like go in business and try to take more risky actions, when they fail something that's like, it's big, because like failing a business, it's big. They're not used to feeling the burden of failure. Now let's get into why people who don't do great in school are not always ending up successful, and most of the time they don't. So, and there are three reasons. They couldn't care less, laziness, and um, arrogance. So, they couldn't care less. People who, in the book The Millionaire Fast Lane by MJ DeMarco, they are called sidewalkers. They just want to live life to its fullest. They don't want to be successful more than they already are. And they don't really care about material success, social success, anything. Which, fair enough, but you have to own it. Because you cannot be like one of those pussies, in my opinion, who doesn't do anything to achieve his goals, but says he wants them and starts blaming other people for not having them. You cannot be one of those because you just look ridiculous, you look like a clown. So you have to, if you're going to be one of these people, you have to own it. And when you own it, it's like, look, I don't want to be rich. I don't want to have a fantastic lifestyle. I want to have my own family, go out every weekend with my friends and drink a beer and watch the game, and I'm going to have a happy life. Who am I and who are any other people on the internet or on the street everywhere? Who are we to tell you to do otherwise? If that's your dream, bro, go for it. No one, like, absolutely, it's fine. But if you have this higher desire to achieve more, to leave your mark on, to put your name on things, you know, if you have this, then you have to not stagnate in this place of, I want so much, I have this ambition, but I'm anyway not doing anything to gain it. The second one is being too lazy, and these two correlate because laziness is one of the traits that a lot of people frown upon, yet don't do anything to change. And I was one of these people. I considered at one point, I consider myself at one point extremely lazy because I was the king of procrastination. I couldn't get myself to do something, and even if I would like force myself with channeling all my power to get my ass in front of like desk and start studying, I was like, I couldn't focus for shit. Like that time I put in, it was useless because I had my math problems and I started trying to solve them, and 2 minutes into trying to solve the problem, my attention would fly. I would take my phone, you know, classic brain rot kid stuff. I would take my phone and lose focus instantly. Now, in order to beat this, you need to understand fully, to fully understand that your efforts are compounding. So if you study, you're gaining experience in your, if you're studying math, your math XP, your math level will always go up. And your capabilities of solving problems or doing stuff is and doing more difficult stuff in any kind of human endeavor, they are always and always correlated to your current stats. So back in ninth grade, my math stats was level 2. And when I tried, I was left behind by my class because I didn't study, I didn't level up while they were leveling up. And they started making level 3 problems. My level 2 mind and math experience could not solve those problems because I was level 2. Problems were level 3. But after I started again and started like remaking level 2, level 3, level 4, all of these problems that were, now I don't know, I consider myself like level 8 math maybe, considering like people like Terence Tao are level like 200, I'm level 8, I'm happy with that. So level 8 math. Problems that for me 2 years ago were impossible, like level 3 problems, now they're a toy, now they're a joke, you know what I mean? So I handle, and this is going to happen every time with any type you try. So you remember in video games when you started a game, like, I don't know, whatever, and there's like the first boss, and you fight the boss and you lose. But if you start with gaining experience with smaller bosses, then the other impossible to beat boss is easier and a joke. So that's any type of thing you're trying to do in life. If you are trying to get in shape, yeah, don't go to the gym and absolutely, like, if I was also fat because my first video with like 3 ways to lose weight, I was like also like super fat. I don't know, I'm 183 centimeters, like that's 6 foot tall, and I weighed 95 kilograms. 95 kilograms I think is like 200 something pounds. I was fat, and I managed to lose it all. I have decent amount of muscle mass now. Not proud enough yet because I still need to cut down, but I'm definitely proud of my progress. Also, considering how hard it is to do that, like statistically, a very small amount of obese people manage to lose the weight and then keep it down. So I'm glad for that. I'm very grateful for that. And the third reason that people who are not successful in school are not succeeding in life is arrogance. And when I say arrogance, I don't mean pride. I don't mean pride because I figure out that this is a very common misconception in today's world where people mistake pride for arrogance. So when you value what you did in life, when you value yourself, maybe a little bit too much, that's pride. When you think yourself, you're great. Arrogance is different. Arrogance is when you think you're superior to others, but in a way you think there's no value in other people's opinions. And I suffer from this, I agree. I'm also proud and I'm also arrogant. And I'm proud enough to, and my pride is big enough to admit this. So I have a big ego, which I'm working on deleting. But there's a lot of people that suffer from big egos, and a big ego can absolutely crush your success because intelligent and people who could be an amazing addition to your life can come, but because they proof and they poke this ego of yours, you throw them apart because they hurt your ego. So the ego, in my opinion, shouldn't be shattered or shouldn't be completely removed, but it should be controlled. So men, we don't take decisions based on emotions of like sadness or happiness. We take on emotional action based on anger and ego. So I'm telling you, if you want to be successful, one of the most important, like I think the most important thing you need to add is to never make decisions based on emotions. All the decisions you make every day, from the smallest decision like what I'm eating today, because the emotional decision would be something that I find tasty, maybe not that healthy, but tasty, like I'm not going to eat the salad, I'm going to eat the pizza. That's emotional decision. Because men take emotional decisions with anger and with ego. And if you can delete these two emotions from your brain, and if you can take decisions ignoring the possibility of anger and of a hurt ego, you'll do fantastic. And I'm still working on this because my ego is extremely inflated, especially now because I have this amazing school success that not a lot of people have. Of an academical comeback. Anyway, thank you for listening to my bullshit, and we'll see you another day.